All right, Cowherd. Cavaliers got a big mess on their hands. I actually think LeBron wants to be traded, but who do you blame here, LeBron or Dan Gilbert for this mess?
I don't blame anybody. Dan Gilbert's going to sell it and make $1 billion. LeBron brought a title to Cleveland, and if you would have told everybody 4 years ago, listen, LeBron's coming back to Cleveland. They're going to get to 3 straight finals, bring a title to the city. What's the mess? Trees don't grow to the sky. We're ready for everybody to jump off. Dan Gilbert bought this thing for $300 million. He's going to sell it for $1.5 billion. He should sell it. I don't see a mess. I see capitalists all getting out of the fund at the perfect time.
You're a New England Patriots groupie. You love the Patriots, Bill Belichick, Bob Kraft. They've kept it together for damn near 2 decades. And we're supposed to be satisfied and, oh, LeBron came home and it went well for 4 years.
Hold on. This is a city that had not won a major championship in the city.
My boss.
The city. In 52 years.
Boston
he
wins
brought
all the
them
time.
the championship.
But
Colin's absolutely right. There is, look, this is some
4
drama.
years. That's all we were
Drama
supposed to
is
get.
chaos.
4
No.
years.
You take a championship, believe me.
I would.
Like Stephen A., I also have some news to report, and it's that LeBron James has started a GoFundMe for his next secret project, which I'm guessing is to buy the Cavaliers so he can be the owner, the GM, the coach, and the player. Would you not be surprised if this happens
Well,
one day?
I've said before, I wouldn't be surprised. I actually think there was a wink-wink when LeBron and Dan Gilbert sat down to make amends and LeBron agreed to go back to Cleveland. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a wink-wink that he's going to eventually buy.
Why is everybody?
LeBron does want to own an NBA
I would have
team.
hated to be on the playground with these guys because y'all play dodgeball very well. There was a specific more to blame, and the Cavaliers are a mess. Did we not just say they've lost, 10 of 13 games?
But how does that
they're
compare?
both to
They've been to
blame.
3 straight finals and won 1.
By the way,
If we go,
They're both to
I
blame.
used to be skinnier too, Chris. Should we talk about that, or should we talk about my
there's
weight
80
problem right now? The Cavaliers have a problem
there's
right
82 games in a season. I mean, Boston's got a 4-game losing streak. So what? I'm not a big losing streak guy in the NBA because I think January is the hardest month in the NBA because it's right before the trading deadline.
It's right after Christmas.
No. It's right before the trading deadline. So players in the NFL doesn't have one of these to this level. So in the middle of the season, players start reading, you're going to be traded. You have to go home to your wife and say, kids, I'm going to be moving to Milwaukee. January is stress month in the NBA. And we're just seeing, by the way, Washington's falling apart and having team meetings.
Yeah, that's right.
Boston's on a losing streak. Lakers early January team meeting. Cleveland team meeting. Like, I mean,
in
seriously,
LA.
I just look at this and I'm like, Dan Gilbert's going to make $1 billion. LeBron's going to get a title of Cleveland. This is not a big mess to me.
They're both to blame, but I actually do blame Dan Gilbert more. And I actually think he should have sold the team right after the first championship because it would have been worth more money. Now whoever buys it is looking at, okay, LeBron's probably going to leave, so he's not going to make as much money off of it. But yes, Gilbert was in a hard position because he knew he wanted LeBron on the team because even if they're not going to win a championship, he still generates so much money for them.
Right.
But he also then became the most extreme enabler. He had to let LeBron have whatever he wanted, and LeBron created this team in this mess. So they both are helping each other, and they're both to blame.
You always say this on the show. You have a good line. You always say, happiness is directly connected.
Expectations.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. When couples get remarried again, divorce, 77% they get divorced. This was always a relationship bound to be quick. It really was. When you divorce somebody, it was very dramatic. They got remarried. That doesn't last forever.
Yeah, I'm going to go with it. I agree with you, Colin. You know what we say about couples who get married and divorced again?
What?
That's a mess. Hot mess. That is a hot mess. Those are 2 people that are a hot mess, and they're doing it again. This is a hot mess. Can we play the tape of Jay Crowder stepping over Kevin Love? Can we play that? Do we have that? We have that highlight? Yeah, here it is. Look, none of these guys are on the same page. This isn't a team. He looks down at him and steps over top of. You can't tell me this isn't a mess.
You know what else is a complete mess is that you've got Ty Lue saying that all these guys need to let go of their egos and their personal agendas, and you have LeBron writing a congratulatory message to himself before he even achieves anything. And I really think I figured it out why he did it. So yesterday morning, it came out that Kobe Bryant was nominated for an Academy Award. Very quickly after that is when LeBron wrote this message to himself. And I think he saw it, which I think Kobe's message, the Dear Basketball thing, was really a love letter to himself.
Yeah.
And then I think LeBron saw that and was like, I got to get on this train. I'm going to start thanking myself. Maybe one day I can win an Oscar. And I want to take the attention away from Kobe and rise up on this day. And he didn't even care how it would affect the rest of his team or Ty Lue's message.
Away from Kobe.
Yes, of course.
Your mind is incredible.
I can see that.
Full of conspiracy theories.
I mean, he competes with MJ and Kobe. Why not?
Why does he compete?
He doesn't compete
I don't
with
think
Kobe.
he competes with Kobe. It's never
he
LeBron
likes to rise
or Kobe.
above everybody else who's great.
Listen, I think there may be some truth there. That's not as crazy as you think.
The timing is just
But you all are not bothered at all. They just lost last night in embarrassing fashion, in my opinion. LeBron James plus minus in the fourth quarter, -8. The guy's not trying. Y'all don't, and he's celebrating this $30K deal as if
they should not have celebrated him becoming the 7th player ever to score 30,000 points. A regular season swoon that every team tends to go through, and this team has gone through it for the last 3 years.
In January.
They shouldn't celebrate 30,000 points because we lost the game.
Are we pretending like we haven't seen others have milestone moments?
We've seen 6.
No. I'm not just talking about, I'm talking about across sports and just not just points
That's
and
the most
everything.
important.
We've seen Peyton Manning break the passing yardage record. They stopped the game momentarily, but there's no wild celebration. There's no letter to himself. There's no you can't tell me this isn't bad form.
For reasons to pick on LeBron.
No,
That's all there is.
Guys,
to it.
you
And
also-
you're making up
Ridiculous
crazy
yesterday.
conspiracy theories.
Well, you got to remember,
it's true.
there are components today. I said this earlier today. Obama was the first president that dealt with social media. Trump's the second. Trump hasn't handled it particularly well. The social media component today, people pat themselves on the back a lot. People in the media retweet their own stuff. Look at me.
Didn't you
beyond that.
once write that you should win a Pulitzer Prize?
And I should have.
But you won that. You're lucky we didn't have Speak for Yourself back then. We'd be roasted. You'd be roasting
I
yourself.
got roasted for it. I got roasted for it, and I got no problem with the people that roasted me.
Let's go back to your expectations. I think the only reason I'm not bothered by this Dan Gilbert selling it, and which I think is probably valid, the only reason I'm not bothered by it is my expectations on LeBron, Dan Gilbert 2 were like pretty low. Once he left them and came back, I was like, the goal is sort of to bring Cleveland one title. He did.
I got it,
think they
Mr.
need to keep that.
Dodgeball. You should be in the next Dodgeball movie. But answer the question, because you said it's a marriage that they've done again, and it's ended in divorce, your expectations. But within that relationship, one of the partners is more to blame than the other. One's crazier than the other. I'll answer the question. I think LeBron James, more so than Dan Gilbert, is to blame. LeBron James, to me, wants to be traded. I don't think he's playing that hard.
Why do you think he wants to be traded?
Yeah, because I think he wants out of there. I really
now,
do.
instead of
Yeah.
Why doesn't he just go to them and say, you know what, I'm leaving this summer. You should trade me.
Because I think he's doing it in every other way possible. Hey, we just lost the game, but I'm going to celebrate my individual accomplishment.
They can't just up and trade him.
Yeah.
He's got a no trade clause. So they have to work together. If he really wants to be traded,
Who does LeBron work together with? Besides Rich Paul and Maverick Carter. Nobody in the NBA.
you're asking
He
me-
creates
He
didn't work
situations.
together with Dwayne Wade. They won 2 championships.
By the way, and it should be noted,
Executives.
even in the Dwayne Wade relationship, and that's his best friend, right? Like, that's
In the
his-
NBA.
Okay,
NBA.
even in that relationship, LeBron is.
Yeah, he
you know-
bounced out of Miami without telling him.
Yeah, and
Rode on
by
a
the way,
plane
he
back
left
with
Pat
him
Riley and
didn't
Dwayne
celebrate.
Wade.
Yeah.
Listen, my expectations for this whole thing was, could they win a title? Did. I'm out. This was a second marriage.
Colin,
I've never
I'm
thought.
going to ask you one more time. Who's more to blame?
Dan Gilbert. Because he's the reason. LeBron, he's really the reason. Remember, when he owned the team and LeBron left, they drafted Anthony Bennett with a #1 pick. They were a mess. By the way, The 4 years LeBron left Cleveland, they were 97-215. Then it was Dan's franchise. Then LeBron came back and they go to the finals. So when LeBron's left them, they've been a grease fire twice.
Okay,
LeBron comes back, there's some drama.
Let me ask you, do you think LeBron's playing as hard as he possibly can right now? Do you think he's giving his all?
Yeah, because he wants to win MVP.
No, I really don't, because he's not going to win MVP the way this team is playing, because we've seen LeBron with less talent in Cleveland win 55, 60 games with less talent. He's not playing as hard.
He's a lot younger guy then. He can't play defense to the level that he used to. He just can't.
But we've been making the argument he's having his best season.
Last year.
Offensively, some people have said that. Look, to answer your question, I agree with Kristine. Dan Gilbert is to blame because he is the final say. If he lets LeBron come in and take control of his franchise, he's still to blame. That's his fault. You didn't have to let this player come and do what he wants. You chose to, and by the way, you're going to make $1 billion by doing it. So I think Dan Gilbert would sign up for this 4 years ago if you had told him this is how it's going to end. It could end up.
We watched the NFL this year. You know, we think these billionaires, they got it all buttoned up. We saw a lot of billionaires.
Who thinks billionaires have it buttoned up?
I watch all these owners. They're often, Jerry Jones is often the biggest problem with the Cowboys.
I completely disagree with that, but